Good evening and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and a big hello to the newest helicopter developer in the industry, A2A. Nice to see you here. There's nothing wrong with helicopters, Lewis. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with them. Anyway, great to see you all. This is I was going to have a relaxing evening in front of the box, and then I was talking about it on the P51 video. There are some aircraft where it just kind of gets into your head. You're kind of doing something else and you think, oh, I just really want to fly. And then you start thinking about what you do with it. And I thought, it's night time. It's a Friday night. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I'm down here in the south. I live probably about half an hour from Farnborough. And I thought, where would I really like to be this weekend? And I thought, of course, up in the Highlands. So why not fly to Inverness? Why not? And I've set everything up, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We've got the ATC. We're going to be using Beyond ATC for that. I've got a proper grown-up SimBrief flight plan. I've got my Navigraph charts. I'll actually show you where we're going to be going. So taking off down here from Farnborough. It's on a departure, so it's the Hazel 2 Lima, which takes us strangely all the way down here, down to Southampton, and then it kind of pushes us up north, past the border, up into God's own country, and then we land at Inverness later tonight. It's going to be a long one. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a long one. So those of you that will stay the course, I salute you, and I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be very chilled out. We'll just have a chat on the way. It's one of the things I love about streaming is when you can just have a nice chilled out flight and chat to people, and there's usually some good chat going on. And of course, it's an honour to have Lewis in the chat from A2A, who will be able to laugh at how I treat his lovely aeroplane. Anyway, okay, so we've got plenty of time to chat once we get in the air. So what I'm going to do is let's get everything set up. Let's have, you're not flying the helicopter now, you won't find the head tracking button there. There we go. Right, so that's all good. I'm going to just quickly put away the lights that I strategically placed, courtesy of Camp Out, just to highlight the beautiful curves of the Aerostar. So we'll get rid of those. Yes, please. We'll get rid of those. I'm just going to get that out of the way. So first of all, it is night, and it would be silly not to check the lights. Must remind, I must edit that out of the aircraft config so the old pushback trolley doesn't appear. I keep forgetting to do that, and I must do it. Okay, so let's have battery on, beacon, strobe, nav, and we're going to have all of that on. Right, quick walk around. Let's get rid of the visual assists. Thank you. So we got, whoa, blinded by the light, Bruce Springsteen said, and he wasn't wrong. So we've got a strobe, and we've got our port nav light, rotating beacon down there. I love the way you just got the animation that kind of rocks backwards and forwards. Nice little bit of detail. Same on the top there, you can see it's doing the same thing. Round the back, I don't know if we'll be able to see it because it's quite bright, but there's some really nice detail on there as well. You can see the PCB there. Lots of attention to detail. Okay, so at the moment I'm just doing the lights, There we go, that's a nice shiny green, and we've got a strobe, and now I really am blinded. And look at this. This Herbert who flew it last, it's dirty and he hasn't washed it. That's not very good. Okay, jump back in, and let's have bosh, 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 bosh. I'm going to lower the flappage just so we can have a look at that out there. And then I'm going to leave everything else as it is for the time being. Yeah, look at that. Do you know, I've not done that yet. I've not done that. And I just suddenly saw it there and thought I'm going to click it and see what happens. And of course it's going to fold down because A2A wouldn't do it any other way. Right, oh, jump back in. Jump back in. Let's have a look at the fuel state because we need to. Yeah. There we go. Just give it a quick top up. That's absolutely fine. Okay, right, let's check over here. We'll check the oil. That is good. Because it's Accu-Sim, the oil doesn't just go down, but also it simulates the colour of the oil as the oil gets used and contaminated and all that sort of thing. That's all good. I'm going to quickly just jump under there and remove the chock. See the dirt on the leading edge of the wing there? You can clean that off, obviously, but it's all part of the the life and the soul of the aircraft. There we go. Check the fuel there. We can, yeah, that's all good. Excellent. And the fuse tank is as expected. Quick look under here. Let's do a drain. Check for water or anything else. See if someone's been smuggling Guinness in here. Come on. I will catch up with the chat in a sec, by the way. I'm just conscious we've got a long way to go, and the sooner I get us in the air, the better. Okay, that's good. Let's check that we haven't got any squirrels. No squirrels, excellent. The importation of squirrels into the Highlands is strictly forbidden. I was going to say prohibited. I just invented a word. You see the dirt on the trailing edge there as well. How are we looking down here? That's all good. That's looking good. The pitot heat cover is already removed. That's looking fine. Yeah, let's remove the chock. It's very tactile. You really do feel as you're walking around doing these. I like this kind of 2024 style walk around because I never did it in the default, but doing it now in the Aerostar, there's something very real about it and very tactile. You know, when you, it's hard to describe, but when you actually walk up to the aileron and you start doing that, it feels very. I can almost feel the chill of the air here at Farnborough. Look at this. Amazing. This is the Burning Blue design, Farnborough, by the way. They did a really nice job. Okay, everything's looking here. Yeah, that's all looking good. We'll just walk through the propeller just to get to this bit. Check the oil. Come on. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's all good. Happy with that. Close that, back up, look around here. That's oh, let's just check the static ports. Yep, check the nose wheel. That's a good. We had a look at the lights before. Look at your dirty nose. You can really see the jet. I mean, you know this anyway, but the Aerostar was going to be a jet, and you can see that jet DNA when you look at the nose and the intake there and all that sort of thing. It's definitely got those kind of jet lines. And static port is clear there, and we've had a good look around, and she looks okay. Quite happy with that. Don't get too close, mate, for your own good. So that's it. Let's jump inside. Let's jump inside. I clicked the wrong one. I always forget that. Just remembered I left the battery on. That's a bit silly. We'll see what the outcome of that is. Come on. There we go. So that's all good. So we've done the walk around. Quick catch up with the chat. Jess, how you doing? How are you doing? That's all right. You are more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to lurk. I only wish you could. Jess is a musician. I only wish you could provide a soundtrack because that'd be quite good. Because it's going to be a long flight, a long, chilled out flight. I like that. Lewis just saying, of course he will. It's Accu-Sim, and we are utterly non-biased in this opinion. Absolutely. Womble, how you doing? Good to see you, mate. No squirrels noticed new checklist. Yeah, yeah. I hate to break it to you, Lewis, but you guys, you know, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Scott didn't note this. Having owned an Aerostar and being a professional pilot, you missed the squirrels out the checklist, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's disappointing. I can't keep a straight face. Look down. Look serious. Right. Okay. So we've done that. That's all sorted out. What I'm going to do now is let's get some lights on. So we'll have nav. I'm going to have beacon. I'm going to let's have some cockpit lights on as well, because then we can actually see what we're doing. And I will just, where are you, cheeky one? There we go. Just going to put him on as well because that's quite good. I'm just going to angle it a little bit, which is easier said than done when you're when you've got head tracking. But you see, even that, I can reach up, I can take hold of that light, and I can direct it where I want. Again, it's so tactile; it makes you feel like you're there. And this is before we've even flown the blooming thing. It's quite amazing. Okay, quick check of my physical controls. Yeah. Just make sure everything's mapped. I checked these before, but you never know. It has a tendency to be able to come and bite you on the bottom if you don't get it right. Right, that's your seat. You're there. You are welcome to have a snooze in the back if you want to during the flight, but we'll be starting the flight with you in position there if you don't mind. And then let's come round to checklist. So, pre-flight complete. Passengers, that's you. Sit still. Don't spill your drink. No corny jokes on takeoff, and no singing. Okay, right. Seatbelt secured, done. Cabin door closed and locked, we've done that. Battery ignition is not off, it's on, because I've just been faffing about with lights and things and I need to see what I'm doing. Gear switch is down, gear is down, flaps I can now put in the up position. Brakes, tests are firm, trust me, they're firm. No sniggling at the back, please. Flight controls, we've done that. I do apologise, that's co-pilot Cat. Sweetheart, if you want to come along for the flight, you've got to jump up here, but don't jump on my lap because then it could get a bit difficult. Parking brake set, let's just check that. There we go. Switches, apart from the lights that I've just put on, the rest of them are off. And battery on, got that on. Gear lock lights green, elevator and rudder trim neutral. That's a good one to remember. It's very embarrassing because this is persistent state. It's going to be how you left it. And if you leave it from a landing where you've got a load of nose up trim and you don't clear that by the time you take off, you can be trundling down the runway and before you know it, your nose is pointing in the air and you're thinking, where did I go wrong? Because you didn't check your trim. Always check the trim. Trim is your friend. And all that kind of stuff. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So we've done the trim. Hydraulic shut off is open. There we go. Fuel check. Loads of fuel. Low fuel warning is off. Circuit breakers are all in. And we have to be careful with that because this is Accu-Sim. And these circuit breakers can come out. And before you know it, you've got a problem. Let's just quickly check that. Get the click spot with the head tracking. There we go. That's all good. Altimeters and clock. Clock is interestingly okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, it's not 8:37 in the morning. That's for sure. But I'm guessing that's just not. Yeah, it's definitely 8:37 at night. Okay, we've done that. And I'll do the altimeter once we get the ATIS. So the next thing is going to be engine start. So what I'm going to do is we'll start the engines, and at that point we can get the ATIS, and then we can dial into ATC and get that done. Although a little part of me, no, let's do that. Let's start the engines. That's the exciting bit. Right, quick check of the chat before I do this. Yeah, it certainly is. No, Jess, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think I'm not just saying this because Lewis is in the chat, because I was saying the other night it was A2A that got me back into simming, 10, 11, 12 years ago, whenever it was. It's this kind of it's the attention to detail. It's the fact you can grab the light and you can move it. You can check the oil, and the oil condition will change. It's you know, the fact that they simulate the oil viscosity based on temperature and all this kind of stuff. It's an external flight model. It's not based around the Microsoft Flight Simulator constraints that other developers are working with. They're actually built their own flight model and everything. It's all this attention to detail, and it's the little things like grabbing the light that just kind of put you there. And that's why I one of the reasons I wanted to do this night flight tonight was because we did the night flight, God, I think it was a week ago, and it just felt so atmospheric for me. You kind of forget I'm in a spare room of the house with a cat. Yeah, I wasn't being rude. I'm just being honest. With a cat next to me who's now giving me right evil looks. Yeah, it's all about immersion, isn't it? And that's what I guess it's the same with any simulator, whether it's car racing or anything like that. It is. I just think petition to see Copilot Cat has started. Okay, should we just this once? Hey, there we go, sweetheart. Oh, there we go. There's Copilot Cat, first time on camera. There you go, you famous sweetheart. How's that? Don't get too comfortable. I've got to fly an aeroplane now. Okay? Yeah? All good? Right, you go back on your chair. She does have her own chair. It used to be my office chair from when we were in lockdown. And she got so used to me being around, she absolutely ruined it. So it now sits next to me, and when I'm working from home or flying, she just sits on the chair next to me. Right, bear with me 1 second. I am just... There we go. Just replying to a message from my wife. I'd be in a lot of trouble if I didn't. Okay, where were we? Back in the aircraft. Right, engine start. Let's have head tracking back on. That's all good. Right, props fully forward. So we're going to have both of those fully forward, and mixture idle cut off. It is. We're going to crack the throttle. Let me just move that back. There we go. And I don't have to move my head around so much, do I? Oh, I was just listening to the sound there. Battery is on. Low fuel warning is out. Fuel selector, cycle and listen. And this is, we do need to listen. So there's one. There we go. Nice immersive little sound. Okay, so we'll do right first, and the process for this is we have a look over here. We put fuel boost on. We open the mixture to fully rich. We check the instruments. We close the mixture. We start the engine. As the engine fires up, we open the mixture to fully rich, and then we bring the RPM back to 1,000, and then we switch the fuel boost off. And obviously looking at the instruments and making sure that nothing's blowing up. Simple, isn't it? Simple. Okay, let's do that. So, fuel boost on. Over here, open mixture, 2, 3, and back, and let's go. There we go. By the way, let me know in the chat if you can't hear the aeroplane. If the aeroplane is too quiet, let me know. And conversely, if the aeroplane is too noisy and you actually want to listen to the words, what are coming out of my gob, then also let me know. Okay, so RPM back to 1,000. I'm going to just lean the mixture now as we're on the ground. Flaps have now traversed to the up, so I'm just going to put those back in neutral. And what else do we need to do? Oh yeah, fuel boost off. So another quick check. 1,000 on the RPM. Mixture is lean for ground ops. And everything's looking good here. Just listening to the engine. Accu-Sim is alive. So you need to listen to the aircraft. And I felt a little bit like the engine was struggling a bit, but it's not. It's not. It's fine. Okay, so we're going to do the same with the right engine now. So looking over here, fuel boost on. There we go, and then grab the lever. 2, 3. I kind of messed that up a bit because I was doing other things. So come on, you beauty. There we go. Makes you fully rich. RPM down to 1,000. Looking at the instruments, everything's good. Okay, and let's lean the engine. Okay, so 1,000 RPM. Instruments are fine. That's all good. Fuel boost off. Have I forgotten anything? Blah 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 blah. No, all good. Okay, so we got two engines warming up at 1,000 RPM, and we're all good to go. Right, let me just lock that off and have a quick check with the chat. What a grey assassin! How many kills does she have? Too many, Lewis. Too many. She's I think she's actually getting a little bit old, so we haven't seen too many kind of coming into this autumn. Usually round about spring and autumn she goes bananas, she turns into a nightmare, but we've not had any mice for a while, which is quite good. Yeah, just made a good point. I feel like if this was in VR with full VR hand controls, I'd get dangerously immersed. Well, the thing is, it could be. I mean, I've got VR and I can fly. I could fly this in VR if I wanted to. I actually don't, because I've got screens here. I've got my Navigraph charts. I'm going to have my Beyond ATC, and obviously I've got the stream going on. But with the controls that I've got here, I could fly this in VR. And I keep meaning to do it, but I haven't set my VR equipment up. And I wonder who it was who got me into VR and made me go and buy some. Lewis, by the way, yeah, Lewis. By the way, Rob, a new rally game was announced for November. Well, it's a shame. Do you know what? I bought that other one, and I think I've only used it once. I think I've only driven it maybe once, maybe twice. But a little bit like what's that one that we used to play? The other one. A bit like that. I wasn't very good. Oh, Jess, thank you. That's great. Glad the mix is all right. Seems that whenever I start a new Scream, I do hope that wasn't a Freudian slip there. I hope that wasn't a premonition of how this flight's going to go. Actually, a very good point to say. I'm not an expert. This isn't a tutorial. I do this kind of flying because I'm teaching myself how to do it. Most of the flying I do is flying warbirds or flying helicopters, doing HEMS or search and rescue and that sort of thing. I tend not to do a lot of this kind of A to B, IFR, ATC kind of stuff, and I certainly don't fly tube liners. This is the closest I get to that sort of thing. So I am going to make mistakes, but this is how I learn. I every time I do something like this and I make a mistake, I kind of note it. I'll point out I've made a mistake if I've noticed it, and then next time I come to fly, it's kind of in the back of my mind, hey, you idiot, last time you did X, Y, Z. Anyway, let's get in the air. Blimey. Right, so where do we get to? There we go. I started waffling. Let's have everything else on. At this stage, because I'm a kind and considerate pilot, and I'm hoping for a good tip at the end of the flight, I'm going to just
TOS system test OK.
Get some heat going so you get all warm and cozy. Isn't that nice? I'm going to load my flight plan. So this is the TDS GTN XI with the Pro upgrade. Amazing piece of kit, really is. I love it to bits, and I always feel like I'm only like the tip of the iceberg in how I use it. But right, let's remember where we're going. EGLF. There we go. And I'm just locking that off there, just cross-checking it against my route, because there's nothing more frustrating than when you realise you've got the wrong route. loaded in, but that looks different. No, it's not. Let's have a quick look. No, that's fine. That's fine. It looks a little bit different on that map than how it does over here, but that's absolutely fine. We will trust in the GTN. Do you know what? So many times I find that my eyes are saying, "Oh, that doesn't look right," and I almost convince myself I'm just loading in the departure. There's no arrival at Inverness, but we do have a departure here. Yeah, my eyes convince myself that I'm seeing something that isn't there, and sometimes I just have to remind myself, just trust the instruments. If you've loaded everything incorrectly, then even if it looks a bit funny, just trust it, because it knows better than you, sunshine. Okay. Locus, hello. I'm not. So because I'm using Beyond ATC, I'm not on multiplayer, because to use Beyond ATC with traffic injection and all that sort of thing, it has to be off multiplayer. So this is a non-multiplayer flight. Which reminds me, now that we've got everything sorted out, quick check of the instruments, how are they looking? That's good. Let's fire up Beyond ATC. So bear with me. The reason why I haven't got it going at the moment is because it has a tendency, if you, even with the battery off, it will suddenly start chirping at you, and ground control start talking, that sort of thing, which is a bit of an immersion killer when the battery's off. It's a little thing, but I have that off. That was quite quiet. One of the new things with... Okay, no, that's all the way up. One of the new things is that you can control the volume of Beyond ATC using the volume on the radio. Okie doke, so quick look here. That's all good. So let's get the ATIS on. 128 405. Transfer.
Visibility 10 miles or more. Ceiling 4000 overcast. Temperature 1 tree. Dew point 08. QNH 1026. Landing and departing runway 06. Transition level 060. Advise on initial contact you have information whiskey.
Okay, that's good. So let's get rid of him. 1026. Let's just punch that in now. Okay, that's so good. And that's good. So sometimes if the weather's changed since you filed the flight plan, you sometimes get different runway and that sort of thing, as you know. But this time around it's all kind of hooking up quite nicely. Quick check of the engine. Yeah, everything's looking good over there. Okay, let's contact ground. And I promise you in the chat, once we get in the air, I'll be able to talk a lot more. But at the moment I'm pretending to be a professional pilot in it. 815. I actually learned on my last stream when I was flying the Aerostar, I got so carried away with the chat that I made some silly mistakes. So I'm going to try not to do that this time because it's embarrassing. Okay, there we go. Oh, I need to quickly see where I am. So I'm going to bring up the Beyond ATC map. So it's hard to tell. Okay, I think that's ramp 1. Yeah, it's ramp 1 in ATC world. Okay, that's easy enough. Farnborough ground, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra on ramp 1. Request IFR clearance, and we have information whiskey. Any order. He's probably thinking, whoa, what did you just say?
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Farnborough ground, thanks for whiskey. Expect runway 06, Hazel 2, Lima departure. Squawk 0531.
Expect runway 06 Hazel 2 Lima departure and Squawk 0531 Golf Mike Sierra. So let's have the
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra. Read back correct. Call me back when ready for start or taxi.
Wilco Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, so let's load that in. So we're squawking. We're squawking. We've got the QNH in. We've got the flight plan loaded. I've loaded my departure. Yeah, I've loaded my departure, so that's all good. I'm going to quickly check. Yep, departure's in there. So nothing can go wrong there. I am going to... Whoa, there we go. Let's quickly transfer that up there. Now, we did the walk around and we didn't discover anything, but something I should have quickly shown you was we can check the airframe. So this is the bit where we kind of walk in and we go up to the engineer and we say, "Here mate, I'm about to take your plane out, what's it like?" And then he'll go, "Oh yeah, look, you've got low voltage in your battery." Why have you got low voltage in your battery? Because you haven't put the alternator on. See? And then you can go to Endrons and you can go inspect and inspect, and that's all good. And if we go to the electrical system, if I turn the alternators off again, and you see this has all gone dead and we're just literally eating into the battery, and you can see the battery running down there. If I now put the alternators back on, it's now pumping the juice through and it's all good. And again, it's a nice, and it's alive. It's not just pretending to be an electrical system with some fancy graphics and, you know, making you think this is alive. It's actually simulating it. And apologies, I do get very excited about all that kind of stuff. Right, okay, so we've got our clearance. We are squawking, we're QNHing, and apologies for repeating myself, but I do tend to kind of double check quite a lot just in case I'm doing anything wrong. Let's just check on your situation. 20 degrees, temperature rising. You're all right. You're comfortable. That's good, because I want you to be comfortable. It's important that my passenger comfort, it's top of the thing, because got to have something to make up for the flying. Just bear with me. There we go. Very important. Very important as a professional pilot not to forget your loved ones. Okay, so we're on ground frequency, so that's all good. And now I can call for taxi. What I do want to actually have a look at, let's have a look over here. I'm going to do a run up. Let me lock that off, and then you're not looking at tarmac. I need to do a run up somewhere, so I need to choose a nice spot. So we're doing 06. Oh, it looks like I can do a run up there. If we go to Fox 1, not the missile. See how it goes. See how it goes. Right, another quick look down here. Have we done anything silly? New. I'm going to put one landing light on just so that we can see where we're going, because otherwise it's awfully dark. And everything else is set, and our engines are looking good. And you do have to be careful because it's Accu-Sim. It can, it's not just a token glance. Something could potentially go wrong, and does sometimes go wrong. Let's have the pitot heat on as well, and that is fine, 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 fine. Okay. Farnborough ground, Golf Mike Sierra, ready for taxi to runway 06. Didn't need to say Farnborough ground then. They're having a think.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, runway 06. Taxi at pilot's discretion.
I think I'm in trouble. Runway 06, taxi at my discretion, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, interesting. Sometimes with taxi information or taxi instructions, when you read them back, it can sometimes glitch. It'll just keep repeating back to you, and I've no idea why. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back up when we do our run up. But I think what I'm going to do, so I can do it at my discretion. So let's head this way. Let's go down here. Let's check the brakes. Brakes are good. Okay, it's quite a swish airport, this, isn't it? Farnborough's full of private jets. Absolutely full of them. The guy that used to be the head of the organisation I work for used to fly in sometimes in his private jet to Farnborough, and I always used to think how cool that must be. Almost as cool as me forgetting once again to steer using the blooming switches, which always gets me. I was flying Warbirds yesterday, so here I am trying to do differential braking, totally forgetting the switches. Remember the switches. Use the switches. You can't see it because it's dark, but there's a switch on the top left of the instrument panel, and you can see it moving. There's the very modern tower. So I'll get carried away with the speed. There we go. I'm just up there. Whoa! Bit of a hill there. There's a posh jet. Looks like they're getting it ready. Is there someone standing on top of it? Kind of man are you? Oh no, he's doing some maintenance on the. He's on a bit of scaffold. I was going to say, you don't treat an aeroplane like that, for goodness gracious. Burning Blue did such a lovely job. I love the lighting, just looking over there, that kind of sodium lighting inside that hangar. It's amazing the small things that you notice, but that can make such a difference. And night flying is one of those things where you get these little kind of bursts of, what's the word? Not atmosphere. Oh look, there's an aeroplane. He must be on, of course he's on tower frequency. Am I seeing things? It's not an aeroplane, you plonker. It's the top of the windsock. I was getting all excited thinking there was an aeroplane coming into land. What a pillock. Okay, quick check of where we are. So I'm going to take Fox 1 because Fox 1 looks like we've got a nice area that we can do a run up in. Quick check of everything. Let's see where we are. Everything is still looking nice. Pele, thank you. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you. Yeah, Lewis, bursts of added immersion. Did you not put that in your manual? Hey, did you miss that out? Honestly, here I am trying to inject poetry into this flight, and it's just lost. It's just lost on you. So damn atmospheric. I don't know how much this comes across on a stream, but it's really dark. It's really night.
Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Farnborough Tower 122.78. Have a good evening.
Tower on 122.78, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, 122.78. Now what I wanted to look at was, let's lock that off a second. Where's this area? Yeah, should have looked at that a bit more closely. It's not ideal because actually to get onto the bit that I was thinking of doing a run up on, it means I've got to actually enter the active. So what shall we do? What shall we do? Okay, this is going to be a little bit wrong. For all the backseat flying instructors out there, I know you're not meant to do a run-up after you've been given a takeoff clearance. I know you're not meant to do that. But unfortunately, where we are, there isn't really anywhere I can turn into wind easily and do the run-up. Should have done it back there on the apron. So let's just stop there a second. I wonder if the AI would wonder what would happen if I asked the AI if I could enter the active and do a run-up. It's going to say no. Farnborough Tower, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, request to enter runway 06 for a run-up. Say, course not. You Burke. I was thinking about that one.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Farnborough Tower, wind 100 at 4, runway 06, cleared for takeoff.
That's not what I said, but hey. Copy the winds, runway 06, cleared for takeoff, Golf Mike Sierra. That's not what I said in the subsequent board of inquiry. Okay, so we'll be quick about this. Because there is traffic injected, there could well be something on the way, but let's have a look. So, where's our nice little... There's a nice little... There. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, I'm just going to... It's not quite into wind. The wind is... I mean, the wind is negligible here anyway, so I'm going to do a run up here. So, let's have parking brake on. Quick get that. Throttle to 1500. Cycle the props. Let's do a voltage check. 28 there, up to 2100. Quick mag check. Oh, makes you rich. That one's a little bit naughty. Ooh, look at that. That one is definitely a little bit naughty. Let's have a look at that. So if I go to the engine analyzer and we go to... Here we go. Can you see that little dot there? That little dot there and that little dot there, and that one's getting a bit smaller. That is signifying that we've got a little bit of spark plug fouling, which we can clear. But that shows that I probably wasn't lean enough, perhaps, on the ground. That's what that's showing us. Anyway, enough of that. So that's good to go. Fuel boost. Let's get the checklist back up. Done that. Alternator, we've done that. Prop mags, done that, done that, done that. Gyro is good. Before takeoff, cabin door locks and close, yep. Controls free, mixture fully forward. Fuel selectors are on. Boost pumps are going back on. And radios are set, we've done that. Flaps not using them. Instruments are all good. Trim not using it. Pitot heat is on. Parking brake is released. There we go. And throttle fully forward when we get out there. Right, let's go. And remember, you are using the bleeding switches to steering. Cha. Yes, you are, you silly boy. Right, let's line up. Love the lighting here. You can see it's quite a bumpy runway. Quite a bumpy runway. There we go. Just going to plonk it there a second. Okay, so a quick check about here, 740, and then if I move that over there for a second, Move that there, and I get my chart. So 3,000 at that point. So I'm climbing to 3,000 feet is what I'm doing. Okay. Tower's thinking, Sunshine, I gave you your takeoff clearance a long time ago. Gear up. Back on the power a little bit.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Farnborough, departure 134.355.
Departure on 134.355, Golf Mike Sierra. 134.355. One of these days I'm going to remember to put it in the actually put it in the box there so that I don't have to change it on the fly. Farnborough approach, Golf Mike Sierra on the Hazel 2 Lima, departure climbing to 3,000 feet.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Farnborough departure. Good evening, identified. Climb to flight level 080.
Climb to flight level 080, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay. So we're going straight up. There's an aircraft over there in the distance. That is an aircraft. It's not a figment of my imagination. Okay, let's have the pumpy fuels off. There we go. And then when we pass 6,000 feet, I can change to standard barometric pressure, isn't it? By the way, when I'm talking about stuff like that, I'm not telling you what to do or anything. I'm just reminding myself. Talking it through myself, and then I don't make any silly mistakes. That's the plan anyway. I love in the Aerostar because you've got these windows in the roof. It's kind of cool because you can get a good old butcher's outside. Okay, let's have a quick look. Still climbing nicely. Give it some more throttle at this stage. I actually got told off by a real-world Aerostar pilot on one of the other videos because I leaned in the climb, and of course with the Aerostar you do not lean in the climb because
Romeo Mike Sierra, contact London Control 118.475.
contact London Control 118.475, Golf Mike Sierra. 118.475. Oh.
KLM 1016, contact Amsterdam radar 119.175.
There we go. Just wait for her to finish. London Control, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra on the Hazel 2 Lima, departure from Farnborough, climbing to flight level 080. into a bit of cloud there.
Golf Delta, Romeo Mike Sierra, London Control, radar contact. Continue climb to flight level 080.
Continue climb to flight level 080, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay. It's quite nice, right? We're getting to see a bit of the ground, aren't we? That flight the other night to across to Norway was obviously oversea, which doesn't help, but the increased speed to 210 knots, Golf Mike Sierra. Now that's interesting. That's the first time they've asked me to do that, and I can't do that in the climb. I can't do that in the climb, but now that we are at the cruising altitude, right, let's just ease things out a bit. So at this point, G
Contact Paris Control 119.825.
Contact Paris Control 119.825, easy 38 kilo.
just trimming as we're picking up the speed. It's needing to trim it a little bit more. Which is having an effect on our altitude there, because we started climbing a little bit, so let's get that under control. Interesting, I've never been asked to increase speed before in the climb in the Aerostar, so that was unusual. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we'll go heading, altitude and on. Okay, so if you know, you know, and apologies for boring you. If you don't know, the way the autopilot works in the Aerostar, very simply, if you want it to follow a flight plan in the box here, you need to have this on GPS. You need to have that switched to GPSS, and the best way of describing that is that it's if you imagine a translator who can translate the really modern stuff coming out of the GPS to our venerable old Century 4 autopilot down here, and that's how that's working. Otherwise, there's other ways you can do it. Of course, this is A2A Accu-Sim, so you can have you can fly without GPS. You can use the old school instruments and that sort of thing. But the way I'm flying the Aerostar is how I would imagine someone who owned an Aerostar now would fly it. So lovely steam gauges, lots of atmosphere with that, but got a really nice GTN in there as well. So let's have a quick look. I can now start to lean us off. Just coming back a little bit on the RPM, leaning off here. Let's go into lean mode. There we go. So just ever so gently coming back, looking at the EGT gauges here. So we've got 2 cylinders now that it's monitoring as our hottest cylinders. Just making tiny movements, bringing the mixture back.
Contact Paris Control 120.1555.
Center on 120.15, Ryanair 5544.
He sounded a bit like that Tony Blair controller we had at Dublin a few weeks ago, but not quite as strong. So we peaked on the low, or peaked on the right. Okay, that's good. So now we just advance it a little bit, and then we want these to be 50 basically. And then we're 50 degrees rich of peak. Autopilot's working nicely, just keeping an eye on that as well, and having a look over here at the engine instruments just to make sure there's nothing nasty going on there. And then once we got this set up, I can actually look at the chat. Woohoo! There's probably no one there. Probably talking to myself. I'm just adjusting the levers a little bit. Such tiny movements. Okay, that'll do. Right, everything's good. Everything's fine with that. Let's hop outside. What a surprise, it's dark. You can't see a damn thing. There we go. See if I can get some kind of a shot where you might see something. There you go. Right, let's lock that off there. This is going to be a long flight, isn't it? That's kind of cool, Locus. You're flying in parallel on the SA server. As someone joins your parallel reality, I like it.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra,
Oh.
resume normal speed.
Resume normal speed, Golf Mike Sierra. Well, I am. I'm going as fast as I can, sweetheart. This is full beans at this altitude for us. Guy, how you doing? Hope all is good with you. So this is anyone who's just joined. This is going to be quite a long flight. We are going to be going from Farnborough, where we've just taken off, all the way up to Inverness. I can show you on the map now if I there we go. So this is the departure that we came out of. So initially I was climbing to 3,000, but they cleared us up to flight level 080, and then we tootled along here. We're heading down to Southampton. Once we get to Southampton, we point it north, and then we're going all the way up the spine of the country here, all the way up into lovely, lovely Scotland, and then we're going to land at Inverness later on. And it should be an interesting flight. It's the kind of thing. It's the kind of flight that I find quite atmospheric, and it's also the kind of flight. It's a good training flight for me because there's plenty of things that can obviously happen. It's dark, so it's proper IFR. I am flying procedures. I'm remembering the things that I did wrong last time, the things that I might have forgotten. So it's all good stuff. And at the end of it, when I finally land at Inverness later on, I will crawl out of this kind of little office room I've got here, and I'll actually feel like I've just flown to Inverness, because that's what it's like. Especially with the Aerostar, because the whole kind of Accu-Sim system. You know how at some flight sim aircraft there's no consequences. You start the engines and off you go, and nothing's going to go wrong. The worst thing that might happen is you might run out of fuel if you've not put enough fuel in it. But otherwise, you know, you can just tootle along with no problem at all. With Accu-Sim, at any point in this flight, something could happen. At any point in this flight, we could have a system failure, an electrical failure of some sort. We could have an engine failure. You just never know quite what's going to happen and what's going to come your way, and that's why you need to remain switched on. I can't just leave this now and you know, go and order a pizza from Domino's and you know, sit down and watch telly for the next 2 hours. Look at the stars. Isn't it lovely? Now, something I need to remember, actually. We can have that off now. I'll just find the click spot. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I need to... oh, that was a bit too dark, wasn't it? Let's have a bit of light. Where's it gone? We need a bit of light because we've got to see where the crisps are. So, let's see how you're getting on. As we're climbing, okay, 27 degrees, so it's a little bit hot. I'm just going to put those in a little bit. the other clever thing about it is the cabin temperature will change with altitude, and you know, obviously you're thinking, well, duh, of course, but just think about that for a minute. It's very easy to you know, accept that, well, that's how it should be, but it's actually simulated. They've actually simulated that detail of the environment. I just think it's another one of those lovely little details. So that's all good. Leave that there. Domino's fried chicken. Ah. Lewis, you could order a Domino's if you wanted, mate. You could order one. I can't because I'm flying the aeroplane, but there's plenty of room here for a Domino's if you wanted to. Let's just have a cheeky look at that. We've got lights in the back for all the people that aren't there. I would imagine, actually, let's turn that off. Lewis, am I right in thinking that at some point you're going to actually have passenger models like you did with the Comanche in 2020? Is that going to happen? Well done, Guy. You put your little heli-whoppers to bed and you're eating a Mackie D's. I'm getting serious food envy now. Serious food envy. Guy Rotagez there, Guy. He sorry, I'm listening to the ATC. He works for an organisation called Historic Helicopters, and they own that, which is actually the oh, you can't see it there. That's X-Ray Zulu 588. That's a Sea King that was based at RAF Lossiemouth 202 Squadron, and that is the livery that I fly on the H145 in the sim when I'm doing search and rescue and that kind of stuff, heaven stuff. So it's rather nice to have. And Jez is a very lucky boy. I say Jez, it's Guy. Where did I get Jez from? Rotagez. Yeah, Guy is an engineer there, so he knows all about heli-whoppers. So Lewis, when you bring out your Sea King, if you want an engineer to help you guys there. Hang on a sec, Lewis, I can't. I am checking a VOR control knob button in MSFS. Wow, okay. That's clever. Passengers to be added, yes. We were hoping to use native 2024 ones, but Sobo isn't fixed them so we can use them. So like other devs, we have to create our own. That's cool. Dude, you can have the A2A crew actually in the aircraft. You could model. Lewis, you could model yourself. I could fly along with you just there. A little bit like when we did VR with Toby the Special Forces duck. That would be funny. So there you go. This is the only drawback of night flying. There's not a lot for you to see. There's an aeroplane over there. What I love about this, when I'm flying beyond ATC at night, during the day you don't see much in the sky, but at night you see the twinkling lights like that, and that's actually an aircraft under control of ATC, which I think is pretty cool. And actually, oh, I've not done this before, I keep forgetting to do it. Am I going to break something if I've got a feeling it's on the wrong screen. Let me just lock that off. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I've got a link somewhere on my desktop where you can see a map of everything, of all the Beyond ATC aircraft, and I think it would show me which one that is. Fried chicken? No, I don't. I in the early 90s I did some training. I did some flying training in a previous life, because we had to. They wanted us to know the basics of flying an aircraft, so they kind of took you up to first solo, and then that was kind of it. If you wanted to get a license, you had to carry on. But no, I don't work in aviation. But damn it, I wish I did. No one wants that Accu-Sim. Would need inventing for that. That would be funny, wouldn't it? That would be funny. By the way, can you guys hear the ATC? I want to make sure that you can hear the ATC as well, but you can hear me and all that sort of thing. Can we have models of Rob and co-pilot Cat as narrator? I tell you what, she'd be great because she can have this look. If ever you wanted to be chastised because you'd made a mistake, just have co-pilot Cat on the seat next to you, and she's giving you that look as if to say, "You absolute melt." And yeah, that would probably be quite inspiring. She's snoring now. Okay, so you can hear ATC but softly. When ATC was giving me instructions, could you hear what they were saying, or was it a bit lost? Because I can turn it up. It's just a bit of a balance between ATC going bah, 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 in your ear and you know, but you actually being able to hear something. Okay, cool. Thanks, Lewis. I do love that it's not just it's not just random radio calls. These are actually aircraft that are being controlled, and I would never be interested in flying tube liners and the kind of traffic that she's talking to, but it's kind of cool being in this little Aerostar, just us in our little aeroplane with the heater on, and we're kind of flying with the big boys and being kind of slotted in around controlled airspace and that sort of thing. It is rather cool. Look at the stars. And of course we can look up because we've got our sunroof. This is going to be such a long flight. I'm beginning to think I made a mistake. But we'll see. Fried chicken. Does this airplane have TCAS? It has a... it has traffic on the GPS. Let me see if... it's a good point because I don't know... I don't know, I must admit I never really use it, but let's see. I don't think it's seeing anything. Oh yeah, there we go. So we've got traffic showing up. So it can see the other aircraft that are on the ATC channel. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, yeah, and it will give you a warning as well. It will give you a traffic warning. So it's kind of, it's not quite TCAS, but it's kind of like, you know, if you get close to traffic, it will come up saying traffic or something like that. Doesn't happen too often to me because, of course, I try not to fly too close to other aircraft because it would be rude. No, but it's a valid point, Lewis. I think what you're saying is absolutely right, and one of the reasons why the Aerostar is so fun to fly is the fact that it's this kind of living, breathing aircraft modelled outside of the constraints of MSFS. You're not having to tether everything to MSFS or bend, you know, almost like if MSFS was a metal framework that you were having to attach your aircraft onto, and you're having to bend the framework almost to and bend your aircraft to make it all work. The beauty of the Accu-Sim system is that it's happening outside of that, so they can do a full proper simulation without having to worry about the constraints of MSFS, which is pretty cool. But that's kind of what Accu-Sim has always been about, isn't it? Accu-Sim has always been that kind of external expertise, using the sim as the platform, but using its own technology to actually drive it. And that's why they make simulators for the USAF and the US Navy, and we get to fly a version of the technology, or like an offshoot of the technology, in a home sim, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Yes, yeah, it does. Fried chicken, it does. Certainly does. But I've not seen it happen when I've been doing this kind of flying. I've seen it happen flying helicopters, and actually, funny enough, that air show assistant mod, I was messing about with it the other day, and I was flying a Spitfire, and I brought up another Spitfire next to me, and it went off because obviously it was like, whoa, you got an aircraft suddenly closing in on you. Yeah, absolutely, guys. So Accu-Heli's wed very soon. Lewis doesn't want to tell you this, but he's working on a Sea King, just because he secretly loves helicopters so much. Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading Lewis's thing there. Yeah, I mean, the engine starts is a good point. And actually, you know, we saw this with the Comanche. When the Comanche was first launched, I remember one of the things that Scott said was that no engine start is the same, because it's simulating all the aspects of the engine. Your ambient temperature, the temperature and viscosity of the oil, all this kind of stuff. The state of the spark plugs. Every engine start is slightly different. So again, it's not like some other simulated aircraft where, so long as switch A is on and you know, switch B is in a certain position, then you press start and it goes and comes to life. With Accu-Sim, there's always that niggling feeling, especially when you're streaming, of, oh god, is it actually gonna start, isn't it? I hope so. Where are we now? Oh, we're just coming over Oxford. Yeah, that's Oxford over there. That's actually, I tell a lie. Let me just lock this off, and then I can have a proper look. Yeah, that's Oxford Kidlington over there. I thought it was. I'm actually a little bit excited about flying to Scotland, even though it's only in the simulator. There's a little bit of... I almost wish there was a border sign in the air so that when you pass it you can go, yes! That would be kind of cool. Lock that off again. What would you rather look at? Outside the window or look at the instrument panel? I'll take the first 2 votes. Fried chicken. I love helicopters. I'm a massive helicopter fan. If you've not seen the channel before, there's a load of helicopter stuff on the channel. I tend to live stream search and rescue HEMS stuff in the Airbus H145, but I love the Huey, the 500C, all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's have a compromise. Look at that. Bit of panel, bit of outside. That's actually quite atmospheric, isn't it? Oh, Streamlabs has just very nicely put a Discord link in there. Yeah, we got a Discord. Really cool bunch of people there. You know, it's all about the community. It's all about the people in it. We've got a helicopter section, a warbird section, a general aviation section, a general chat section. Every now and again we do a group flight, but it's just a great hangout. Really good bunch of people who are all into the same sort of thing. So yeah, if you are on Discord and you want to come along and say hello, then give that a click. Well, I'm glad you found it, Fried Chicken. It's good to have you here. It's always nice when new people come along. I try on the channel. I do a mixture of kind of warbird flying, which is where I started, and also some GA flying. I'm trying to do more and more of this sort of thing. You know, doing the IFR flying with ATC and that sort of stuff. I'm just checking my engine instruments just to make sure nothing's going awry. Yeah, lots of helicopter stuff. Thank you, that's very kind of you. So ATC is certainly busy tonight. Just having a quick check of the map. Harry, how you doing? Purchased the County H125 this morning. Where's your favourite place to fly in it? Oh, I would say oh, do you know, it's hard not to there you go, Fried Chicken. Thank you very much for subscribing there, my friends. Much appreciated. Yeah, so for me, I would say anywhere in the mountains. So somewhere I like to, if I want a quick helicopter flight, so I'm test flying a flying model, or I'm just wanting to have a quick helicopter flight, I go to Feshy Bridge, Cairngorm Gliding Club up in the Cairngorm National Park. There's one parking spot. And you can load in there, and you're right in the mountains, and it's absolutely lovely. Really nice place to go. Stasmore, you're lagging so bad. So the stream's lagging for you. That's strange. Welcome from Poland. I work with a couple of Polish people, and they are great. They really are. I can't say enough about them. They are kind of they really are kind of can-do people. There's no messing. When we have to get things done, they are right in there, and they're doing the job. And great sense of humour. Yeah, wonderful people. Just listen to that. Guy, Rob, what do you think about doing an MH60 fan flight around Alaska? Do you know what, Guy? I've got to be honest. I'm not being drawn to it at the moment, and I know that they've done some updates, and I need to go back and have. I need to have another look at it. It's not drawing me back to want to fly it, if I'm honest. I don't regret buying it because I'll probably get into it at some point, but you have reminded me I should give it another fly. At some point this weekend I might jump into it and try the latest update and see what it's like. Yeah. Oh, Fried Chicken, you're Italian. I work with Italians as well. I love Italy. I absolutely love Italy. Just bear with me. There we go. I'm just looking out there. I love the fact that we can see out. I've had to go to Italy a few times with work over the years, and it's almost like a cliche but true. Italians are so effortlessly cool. Like you go to somewhere like Bologna, and you walk, you walk to the Piazza Maggiore, and you see Italians walking around, and they just look so damn cool. And the way they do everything is, yeah, I love Italy. It's one of the languages I wish I could speak. I only know a few words, but I would love to be able to speak Italian. But beautiful country, and that mixture of scenery. You've got you've got going up into the Alps and the Dolomites, and you've got the lakes, you've got Tuscany, and then obviously you've got down south as well. Yeah, beautiful country, absolutely beautiful. Lewis has said Domino's isn't Italy. Lewis, come on now. Come on, fella. Have you ordered it yet? Stop fiddling with that knob and your VHF, whatever it was, and get ordering your Domino's. Harry, thank you. One more thing. Is there a way to spawn at a helipad and it be cold and dark every time I spawn in it? Yeah, there isn't that I'm aware of, Harry, but so the way I get round that is I right-click somewhere near it and select it as the departure point, and I select I can't remember what the wording is now. Is it cold and dark, or is it engines off, or something like that? I select that, and then I kind of slew it back to where I want to be. That's how I normally get around that. Okay, I was just listening to ATC again, sorry. Adja, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, the P51 flight. Yes, yeah, it was interesting taking the P51 up again. But yeah, very different kind of flying to what we're doing tonight with the Aerostar. And Lewis has quite rightly identified that Adja is clearly someone with taste. Absolutely. Darren, how are you doing? I hope all is good with you. Hope you're well this evening. Guy, they've got an update coming out for the MH60 at some stage. Flight model is getting adjusted. INS is getting revamped. Okay. I mean, certainly visually it looks fantastic. There's no doubt about it. It looks amazing. Right, let's just have a look. Over there is Birmingham. The lights of Birmingham. I love how it's obviously you've got the city lights, but it's almost like it's lighting up the cloud as well. But there you go, Coventry. Actually, I'm talking absolute cobblers. That's actually Coventry. Birmingham is a bit too far out, but you can see the lights of Coventry Airport there. So there you go. In the UK here we have a saying that you're sent to Coventry, and it usually means when people have had enough with you and they're not talking to you and they're ignoring you, it says, oh, they sent me to Coventry. I've been sent to Coventry, clearly. Lewis, pizza has been consumed already as I was watching Formula 1 practice and selling Aerostars. That's what it's about, man. It's all about the hustle. You got to keep doing it, sunshine. I'll tell you what, I can't wait for the next Drive to Survive. Lewis is a big Formula 1 fan. I haven't got the patience to sit through a Formula 1 race. But I love that Drive to Survive program on I think it's Netflix, isn't it? Absolutely love watching that, and it's kind of all the excitement of Formula 1 without having to sit through 3 hours of and all that sort of thing, which is where I struggle. In Italy we have pizza knobs in planes. That's different. Guy, now then, if we are talking about the Italians being effortlessly cool, let's put Brum into the ring. Absolutely. It's great. There it is. There's Birmingham in the distance. Way in the distance over there. Just getting that view back again. There we go. So let's have a quick look at where we are. So there you can see Birmingham over. Can you see? Yeah, you can see the mouse pointer. So Birmingham over here. We have scooted all the way up here, and you can see the Aerostar is such a quick aircraft. I mean, we've still got a long way to go, and we're approaching our first tea break, I'm sure. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. Just about to come over Hinckley. For all you Midland spotters, let's remember to put it back on the stream. God, would you lot stop talking about pizza? Oh, you watched Schumacher live at Imola? Wow. That'd be quite something. Yeah, seeing it live would be really interesting. I think to watch it on TV is one thing, but to actually be there and watch them racing round. But yeah, Drive to Survive is a gift for someone like me. Such a clever idea for a program, that, because you get the oh, they're talking to us. They're talking to us. London Control on 118.775 Golf Mike Sierra. One 118 7 or 775, wasn't it? London Control Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, flight level 080. Didn't need to see level at level. You just all I had to say was flight level 080. Mind you, it's probably controllers probably all learning now. Yeah, watch out for that Golf Mike Sierra. He waffles a lot. His phraseology isn't perfect, and he'll say things in the wrong order, and you'll wonder what he's talking about. So we've got another aircraft up there. We've got blinky lights and another one. I love that. The skies are alive. Are you, Adja? Okay. My parents ended up settling in Shrewsbury, which I know isn't quite Stoke-on-Trent, but it's not a million miles away from there. It was incredibly loud, had to use earplugs. Yeah, I bet. We actually, Blackbush, which is just up the road from me, they filmed, oh God, that I've not seen it, but that Formula One film with Brad Pitt, they filmed some of that there, and also McLaren sometimes use it to, I don't know what, because they've got their own test track, but they sometimes use it for different things. And the sound from where I live is amazing. And it's funny how the local kind of community Facebook thing suddenly comes alive with people saying, "What the hell's that?" And then someone, of course, will chip in and say, "Oh, actually, I think you'll find it's McLaren or a Blackbush or something like that." And everyone goes bananas for it. Guy, we had Will Joseph, Landers Edge. Okay, come down and fly. Oh, come down and flew your links. Wow. So he's a helicopter pilot, is he? Cool. Yeah, do you know what? That's one regret I've got, is that I never, and I guess at some point I might just do it for a bit of fun, but I've only ever been in a helicopter once when I was a kid, flying this is, and I've never actually flown a helicopter, and I keep meaning to just get myself like a, you know, one of those taster flights, just to do it once. But I'm a little bit afraid I'd be bitten by the bug, and I'm too old and knackered now to start worrying about getting a helicopter pilot's license, that's for sure. But I tell you who is the person who I wish I had if there was a career path that I wish I had, I'd kind of followed. It's a guy. It's Matt Jones from Spitfires.com. Now he was he worked in the city. Obviously worked hard at school, went to uni, worked in the city in the if I don't know, stock broking or whatever, banking, and then put himself through all his licenses, went to the States and carried it on, and he ended up flying private jets, and then he got his helicopter license, and of course now he flies Spitfires, and I just think, wow, that is the way to do it. Obviously you've got to have that grounding of it, enormous amounts of money by going into banking first, but you know, there's a guy that flies Spitfires, flies helicopters and flies private jets, and he's got his own little sporty aircraft. I can't remember what it is. It's almost like I want to say it's like a Vans, but it's not. And you know, he commutes, he can commute to Goodwood in that if he wants. And I think, where did I go wrong? You know, getting a little bit murky out there, isn't it? Let's have a look over there. What are we seeing over that way? So that's oh, interesting. Okay, that's Derby over there. We are heading into the north. You're going to feel very at home soon, Lewis. Talking to Lewis, you need to watch the Le Mans Drive to Survive type show. Yeah, do you know what? I do. I've not watched it, and I remember you telling me about it. Is it still on? Is it Netflix? Is it still on there? I'll have to check it out. Atcha, been Shrewsbury a lot. Fished the River Severn at Atcham and Shawbury. Ah, okay. I lived in Shawbury a long time ago. But yeah, I had a few years at Shawbury. Nice little village. Sorry. Whenever they're talking ATC, I'm kind of listening out on it, and it can get a bit distracting. But it is necessary. Let's take it seriously. But yeah, no Shawbury well. Actually lived there twice. Once as a God, I must have been about 4, and then when I was in my late teens. But yeah, nice little place. Guy, yeah, he flies in his spare time. Not sure if he owns or just hires, but a very good pilot by all accounts, especially as the Lynx is tremendous. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That must be quite something for him then, suddenly jumping into a Lynx and giving that a go. Fried chicken, I could not be a pilot. Anything goes wrong, it's scary as heck. I'll stick to maintenance. Yeah, maintenance is a lot of responsibility. I think, you know, it certainly can't be understated. I often think this when I see guys working on the Warbirds, and there they are, you know, kind of putting a Merlin back into a Spitfire and working on it and doing all the things they need to do, and I have to think, my lord, the responsibility that they have if anything was to happen. I remember when I went to the Battle of Britain Memorial flight last year, and it was to have a look at their Spitfire simulator there, but I was talking with some of the guys, and we were under the Lancaster, and they were obviously doing some work, and I remember thinking, God, you know, what a team. All these guys. I mean, you always hear people talking about, oh, well, if it wasn't for the engineers, we wouldn't be able to. But it's so damn true, and you see them all there, and they've all got their own little jobs to do, and yeah, massive responsibility. Just occurred to me, there's certainly a lot of shamrocks, isn't there? UPS.
Contact London Control 118.475.
Right, so I think it's time for a tea break, but of course we can't stop the flight because we're flying. So you have a choice. And do you remember I was saying earlier about Accu-Sim? You can't go off and go and eat your tea and that sort of thing. This is the risk I now take, because if I now go off and make a cup of tea and something goes wrong, there's nothing you can do about it. But you've got a choice. I can either leave you in the cockpit and you can just have a look outside, or I can give you a lovely kind of back in a few minutes screen, kind of looking at the helicopter.
Ryanair 8705. Contact
Actually, you might like that.
1.1.
Contact Dublin approach 121.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I am going to go and make a cup of tea. I will be back in a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. This is your opportunity to do the same. Get a brew on, go and hit the fridge, whatever you want to do, and I will see you very shortly. But in the meantime, here is a lovely little scene with a beautiful helicopter. And for people who are new to the stream, this is you remember I was talking about that Sea-King there, that Guy looks after. The H145 that you're about to see is the H145 that I fly the HEMS and the search and rescue with, and it's the same livery. Do you know, I can't. Whenever I hear the ATC, I'm kind of listening to it. There we go. Okay, here we go. I will see you back in a few minutes. And we're back. Right. Okay, not missed anything on ATC. Let's have a quick look. Engines are absolutely fine. Fuel's good. Okay. That's quite spectacular, actually, the view outside. It's quite a nice mixture of weather tonight because we've got a bit of cloud, which adds the mood, and then we've got the night lights as well. Lewis, of course. I have my Duxford mug. You were there when I bought that. And I've also got, I found this in the cupboard. And I thought, don't mind if I do. Sorry, co-pilot cat, you can't have this. So, where are we now? There we go. So we've just got Manchester to the left. Heading up here. Just coming past the Lake District. And then across the border. So we've come quite a way. This is how far we've come. But we've still got all that to do. That's a lot of tea. A lot of tea required for that. But that's what this is about. This is what happens when on a Friday evening you sit there and you think, oh, I'll watch some telly tonight and relax, and then a little voice in your head says, yeah, but you could go and fly the Aerostar. You could go and get some more time in the Aerostar, and then you think, yeah, but do you know what would be really cool is to do like a night flight all the way up to Inverness and stream it, and then you do it and you think, wow, that's actually going to be a long flight. But who cares? I've got you guys with me. Binky, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope all is good with you. There's Manchester down there.
Air France 380 Delta, contact Manchester, approach 121.355. Contact Manchester, approach 121.355, Air France 380 Delta.
221 knot ground speed, so that's quite good.
London Control, EZ69 for Quebec, flight level 280.
I always remember this point here, Pol. If you watch the guys going back a while now, I can't remember if it was a stream or a video. I think it might have been a stream. Flying the Comanche down to Liverpool from, God, I think it might have been Newcastle. And for some reason the controller descended us to something ridiculous like 3,000 feet over Pole, and it was actually going to drive us into the ground. God, that was a while ago now, wasn't it? Blinking lights in the distance, aircraft. I love that. These are aircraft that are probably on frequency with us. One up ahead as well. So there's actually quite a lot of aircraft in the sky, but you only realise at night because you see the lights. God, for one awful minute then I thought I'd left it on the charts view. There we go, stop moving my head around. Oh, I've got to catch up on some chat. We've not done that in a long time, stealth field. Oh, that was good fun, wasn't it? Spending hours playing old school real-time strategy games. Funny. Since we both spent the day getting marketplace sorted and third-party vendors for Aerostar. I think you guys have been working hard. You've got to have a break once in a while, haven't you? Otherwise it'll just drive you mad. Alex, how you doing? All good here, thank you, my friend. Hope all is good with you. No worries, Binky. Thanks for watching it. Yeah, it was quite nice to get back into the P51, but man, we need a good P51. And I'm not just saying this because Lewis is on stream, but you know, even if it's flying iron, someone has got to do a good P51. Such a huge gap. I'm saying a good P51. But yeah, don't get me started. Thank you, Fried Chicken. Enjoy your tea, my friend. Yeah, no, you're right, Lewis. I think there's something about what I loved about that was you can literally spend all that time building up, and then all of a sudden you just have this kind of massive wave across the map of all the units that you created and everything, and just one by one you mallet everything in the way. Sorry, did I miss a call just before? No. Yeah, that was good fun. My brain's gone though, I can't remember what it was. What was it, Lewis? What was the game? I can't believe I've forgotten it. I'm having a mind blank. The Locust Airplane Heaven is not a good one, question mark. I don't know, I do not have it. I will say this, the Locust. And again, I'm not saying this because Lewis is on stream. I used to fly the A2A P51 in FSX and P3D. It's an aircraft that you had to learn how to fly properly. It was very different to the Spit. It wasn't as easy to fly as the Spit, but it felt like a realistic challenge. And there's something very satisfying about learning to fly an aircraft that is a realistic challenge, because you feel that, you know, it's worth it because it's realistic and all that kind of stuff. And like I was saying way back before, A2A make flight sims for the American Air Force, the American Navy. They made the Spitfire simulator software for Spitfires.com, so that they could help train pilots to convert from other aircraft onto the Spitfire. So they do top quality stuff. So that's what I was used to. The Aeroplane Heaven P51 is not that. However, a lot of people... Supreme Commander! That's it. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people love the Aeroplane Heaven P51. And what I'm really conscious of is this. In our hobby, as we know, sometimes there's a danger of... I saw twinkly lights, there it is. There's a danger of almost like a snobbery about a developer or a type of aircraft, or but the important thing is it's what you enjoy. And I know there are plenty of people that love the Flying Iron P51 and their Spitfire, and I know real world pilots who love their Spitfire and get a huge amount of enjoyment out of it, and that's what it's all about. So you might enjoy it. That doesn't it's as simple as that. You might enjoy it. I personally don't, because of all the time I had with the A2A one, and that's made it very difficult to. I try every couple of months. I try with the Aeroplane Heaven one, but I just can't get into it. The only thing I would say is if you do get it, I absolutely recommend getting the Echo 19 sound pack, because that is pretty special, and it certainly brings it to life and adds to it. And also there are some, there are some mods out there, some improvement mods that help to, help to kind of bring it back to something that's a bit more interesting. But it is about what you enjoy at the end of the day. Simple as that. Yeah, Supreme Commander Forge Alliance was the full 3D one. Then we discovered Rusted Warfare, the bitmap one. It's an interesting thing that I remember you telling me about that one. It's really weird. Considering how old I am and how when I was a kid I was playing games on a ZX Spectrum. I actually don't go for the kind of retro-y, pixely kind of games. I quite like Supreme Commander. Still felt, I mean, it's certainly not modern graphics, but it still felt quite good. But like the really old pixely stuff, I don't know, but I should give it a try. That much I know. I should give it a try. See what it's like. Locus, Echo 19 is epic. I gave headphones to my son and gave him your E19 plus P51. He got goosebumps as he recalled the real 51 we saw a week earlier. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, the sound is beautiful on that Echo 19 job. It really is. No doubt about it. And it's amazing how just the sound can make it feel like a different experience. But I can't begin to describe. If you've flown the A2A P51, you'll understand. But I can't begin to describe the difference. The A2A P51 felt very much like an object going through the air. You could feel it. You could feel what it was doing, and it was it could be a handful. The takeoff, the amount of torque it had, you had to really. You had to get the technique for doing a proper takeoff. Looping it as well. It wasn't just a case of pull back on the stick and over you go. Looping it, you had to use the correct technique. But it felt like an aeroplane flying through the air. Yeah, and it's very hard to describe. Very hard to describe. Rusted Warfare is potentially even more units on screen. Is it? Has it got, I'm a fan of lobbing in artillery. Has it got some nice artillery in it, Lewis? Binky, I would love to have a decent Hawk Sea Fury. Yes. Yes. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a study level Sea Fury? Wow. And no one, is there a freeware one? I was going to say no one's done it, but I think there's a freeware one, isn't there? Fried chicken, I'm keeping the window open, but I'm around the house doing housework. That's alright, that's what this is about. It's just wonderful having everyone's company on this long night flight. And you do what you need to do. But it's very atmospheric looking out the window. As I say, I'm not sure how much of this comes across on the stream, but certainly seeing the street lights and everything is amazing. I remember doing a VR night flight. I think I was flying the King Air, and that was amazing. That was really atmospheric, especially if you fly it at night when it is night. because then everything is telling you you're in VR. It's dark in VR. It's night in VR. You know it's night outside, and everything is putting you in that position, putting you in that place. Lots of RT options for you to access. Really, it's got lots of artillery. Oh, I love that. There's something very satisfying about lobbing in a load of artillery and malleting it, and then, you know, and then advancing to battle. Close with the enemy. Show him some steel. There you go. Guys just said DSD have done one as freeware. I quite enjoy it. I knew I'd seen some pictures on the Discord. Talking to the Discord, the link is up in the chat there, a little bit further up. But we do have a Discord, a great bunch of people, some of whom are in the chat right now. But yeah, really nice bunch of people. Very lucky to have a such a nice, good community. It's what makes a difference in a good Discord. That's alright, fried chicken. You can't type while you're doing housework. There's only so much you can do. But it's good to have you along. Ajay, have you got Cross Eyes, Lewis, A2A, one of the stream and one on Formula 1? Yeah. He's kind of paying attention. It's going to be difficult for him because he's such a big Formula 1 fan. The only way I can keep his attention on the stream is every now and again if I mention food. Oh, let's get the Discord up. I suddenly realised I can hear the Discord binging, but I haven't actually looked at it since we took off. I've just seen your post in the Discord, Lewis. No squirrels shall be permitted as cargo. Windsocks might be aircraft. Watch out. Hang on, what's this? It's also been decided that heli wobblers are not real aircraft. They are group fantasy involving fit. Dude, one of these days I'm going to get you onto helicopters. The thing is, I think you'd love it. I think you... Andrew! What a pleasure to have you along, sir. It's good to see you. We are almost... I'll show you. How uncanny. I've got to show you this. We're just here. Almost in your neck of the woods, just about to go over Shap. Amazing. I hope all is good with you, Andrew. Andrew is a real world pilot, so I have to be very careful now. Because he knows what he's doing. We're flying to Inverness. Andrew knows my love of Scotland, and so he will understand why on a Friday evening I'm flying from Farnborough to Scotland. Because although I can't do it in real life, in my head, that's where I'm heading to. I'm glad you got a beverage as well. What's that? It's okay, Ajay, I've got it on telly. Rob's Discord for abuse while he's live. Work on centre monitor and stream on the other. Blimey, it's like it's A2A kind of central control room at your place, isn't it? Yeah, it's good to have you here, Andrew. I've done many a really nice flight with Andrew. Flying warbirds and things. Flying through the Lake District in Hawks. That was good fun. Oh, it really is pitch black out there, isn't it? And of course, now that we're over the Lake District and we've passed by the major towns, it's there's not a lot that you can actually see. That's the Lake District right over there. Trust me, it's there. Unfortunately, we can't appreciate its beauty because we are stuck in an aeroplane at night. Oh, what did we get to? Guy, Rob, he's not lying. He's been saying some disgraceful things. I know. I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm disappointed in you, Lewis. Disappointed. I don't know what it's going to take to get you into helicopters. I've flown you around enough in them in armour. You should, you know, I would think by now you'd understand. But obviously, clearly we need to do more of that so I can get you into it. Binky, unfortunately I must depart prematurely as I have to drop my better half at the airport at 4 AM. Good God, I salute you, Binky. I hope you get some sleep and safe trip in the morning down to the airport. You never know, I might still be flying around at that point. But yeah, have a safe trip, mate. Good to see you. Mr. Dram, well done, lad, well done. Yeah, we need to do a flight. We need to do a flight. We need to do a... yeah, funny Guy, who is on the stream, Guy is a Fastjet fan, and I was talking about, you know, learning the ropes in the Hawk and then going from the Hawk to the Jag. And it's still something that's in the back of my mind, but it's just finding the time to do it. I get so little flying time these days. I'm usually because I'm, you know, trying to make videos and that sort of thing. It's I don't get much time just to practice something else. But I want to get into the Jag. I want to fly the Jag for sure because I bought it and I still haven't flown it. And it would be great to go tear-arsing around Scotland. Oh, it would just be a pleasure doing that in the Jag. That's for sure. Lewis, a bucket full of mind-bending drugs from the 60s and knocking me out to force-feed them to me. And then maybe I would agree that a helicopter's a real machine and not a fever. Oh... I do understand. In P3D, I tried a couple of times messing about with helicopters, but I just didn't get it, and I didn't enjoy it. And it was only, and I don't know quite what made me do it. I remember buying the H145. I don't remember why I bought it. I remember watching a helisimmer.com stream where he was talking about how to get into flying helicopters and how to take the initial steps on learning to fly them, and I just thought, wow, this seems really cool. And you know, the way he was talking about it was quite infectious. And then that was it, bang. And I guess also it was when High Performance Group brought out the Action Pack expansion. That was when I was just absolutely hooked. And that's it. Can't get away from helicopters now. Have you tried DCS again since your head injury caused you to like them? No, I haven't. I've got the Apache and I've got the Huey. I think I tried to fly the Apache. God, it must have been last year at some point. And I don't know if it's because I need to set my controls up or something, but it just felt really odd. It was almost like oscillating in the roll axis, and I just couldn't quite work out what was going on, and I didn't enjoy it. And to be fair, I only gave it a few minutes and I stopped flying it. Plus also there's a lot to learn and I just don't have the time to study it, but I'd love to. I love the idea of knowing how to fly the Apache and how to fight in the Apache, but it's getting to that point where I know how everything works. That's the difficult thing, really. Andrew, Jag is great in the sim and similar to the Hawk in many ways. Okay, yeah, no, do that, definitely. Yeah, I don't think there's probably a huge amount to learn in terms of the systems, maybe, but the handling side of it. But yeah, one of these days, and I don't know when it will be. It's probably going to be next year at some point. I'm going to try and spend a bit of time with the Hawk and. Yeah, get into the fast jet thing. Really enjoying the Aerostar, especially on this channel. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Yeah, the Aerostar is lovely. It's funny. I'm only really using it for this kind of work at the moment. I have this idea that so I'm basing it at Inverness. I used to fly for a VA, and my hub was Inverness. And I used to fly out from Inverness to the you know, in the Highlands and Islands, and the, you know, come down south to Dundee and Edinburgh and Glasgow, and I didn't have the time to commit to it, so I pulled away from that. But I love the idea of flying the Aerostar around the Highlands and Islands and doing all that sort of thing. But I love using it as a platform for doing this. Because it's got everything I need. It's got the GPS, it's got a nice characterful autopilot, which is not like a normal autopilot. You know, we can't seek an altitude. We can hold an altitude and we can hold an attitude, but so it's got a, you know, it's got some character there. But yeah, it's great for doing this sort of thing. The flight model is just beautiful. Going back to what I was saying about the A2A P51, the Aerostar very much feels like an object moving through the air rather than like GTA or, you know, something like that. Aerostar is not a helicopter. Well, that explains everything. There was me trying to hover in it the other day. Now I understand why. Now you tell me. Why didn't you put that in the instructions? All that waffle about accuracy and simulation and all that sort of stuff, and you failed to make the point that it's not a helicopter and you can't hover in it, Lewis. I'm disappointed. What with that and leaving the squirrels out of the manual? I don't know, mate. Don't know. A little bit worried. So we are coming up to the border. Unfortunately, being very careful whenever I start fiddling about with things while I'm flying on a stream. I'm always a little bit nervous that I'm going to break something. And obviously also having to listen to the autopilot. Bleeding it, what are you talking about? Listen to the autopilot. You need to listen to your brain, mate. That's us. Contact Scottish Control 119.875 Golf Mike Sierra. I don't know why I just got my pen out. I kind of automatically went to write the frequency down, but a bit late for that. 119er 875. Check. 119er 875. Yep. Scottish Control, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, flight level 080. We're in Scotland. Oh, I'm getting a little bit moist in the eye department. Silly, isn't it? It's only a blooming simulator. I'm actually still sitting in a house in the south of England, but just the idea of being up here again. Oh, there you go. Adja, clouds or stars above tonight, Rob? It is clear through the ceiling glass. Let's have a look. Whoop. There you go. Milky Way. Let me lock that off. There we go. So you can just, hopefully you can see that. I don't know how well that comes across on the stream really, but you've got the Milky Way there by the looks of it, and you've got the stars. Actually, that's not the Milky Way. Or is it? It's hard to tell. Yes, it is. I think it is. And we've got all the stars, and that's through the old sunroof. You don't want to open it, but you know, at least we can see out. Guy accidentally put a fast jet in the Warbird channel. That's all right. That's all right. It kind of, if it's, you know, if it's a fast jet, it can go in the Warbird channel. Why not, eh? Why not? Right, so let's have a quick look around. That's all good. Fuel pumps are wonderful. And fuel state is good. We're running our wing tanks down nicely. We've obviously got plenty of fuel in the fuse. And then over here our T's and P's are good. Interesting to see that our right engine is burning fuel a little bit less than our left. Interesting. That just goes to show that these aircraft are alive. In fact, let's do some. So we earlier on at the start, you saw me leaning on that. Let's have a look. This is one of the beauties of. Oh, I need to turn the heating up a bit for you. You didn't tell me you were getting chilly. You're very good. So one of the fantastic things about the Accu-Sim system is if you're learning to fly and you're learning how aircraft operate, is that you can visualize a lot of this stuff. Now I know that you wouldn't have the benefit of this in the real aircraft, but this is showing us we can switch between the two, showing us our engines. We can see what the prop pitch is, we can see squirty fuel, we can see what our mags are doing. If you were there at the beginning, you could see our sparks. If that dot was very small, it would mean that the spark plugs was fouled, but they're absolutely fine now. We kind of cleared them right at the start, and you can see these pipes here are an amber colour, so that means that they're running quite warm. Now if I start to lean the mixture back, and now you can see they're turning green, so that means economy. So now I guess you could say we're kind of, I guess, lean at peak. But it's just wonderful how all this is visualized, and what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to do the same with the right hand engine. We'll just save a bit of fuel. So I'm just bringing back our mixture for our right engine. You can also do lean at peak on here, by the way, but I just wanted to, if you've not seen this before, I know a lot of you have seen how this works, but it was just if you hadn't. There we go. Bringing that back, and we're green, and we're green. All good. So now we are just running a little bit more economical. And interestingly, that hasn't changed a huge amount. The old fuel flow. But I guess it makes a difference over time. And interesting, we have got a difference between the two engines. I like that. That does go to show how different they are. Our manifold pressure is the same, our RPMs are the same, and our mixture levers are almost in the same position. But you can see we've got a slightly different fuel rate there. Or fuel pressure, I guess. Interesting. Right, let's have a look at the chat. Yes, Andrew, over the border, mate. Over the border. That's very true. Airplanes rise gracefully into the air. Helicopters beat the air into submission. It's very true, but there's something beautiful. For me, flying helicopters, especially low speed approach, those kind of phases, there's almost something. It's like meditating because you're so focused on feeling the aircraft and watching what it's doing and that sort of thing. It's almost like meditation. I love it. Oh, we got an F1 check going on, yeah. I almost don't want to know what's going on because it'll spoil Drive to Survive. But I've purposely not being following it at all. Hey, you guys will know this. I read something the other day, potentially that oh, what's his name?
Scottish Control, Speedbird 8 Golf, descending via Empire 1 Echo.
You can tell it's late. My mind is completely fried. I had an absolute nightmare of a day at work in the day job, and go for a night flight, and my brain is absolutely gone. The guy who ran Red Bull and got the Heathrow. Oh god, I thought that was for us for a moment. Oh, I can't believe it's gone. There's a rumour, or did I see that he's in talks with Ferrari? Horner, that's it. Is he in talks with Ferrari? Andrew saying, totally understand. Can I interest you in a Harrier? Actually, seriously, that would be interesting. If there was a really accurate Harrier, I almost bought the Harrier for DCS, but didn't, obviously. But I almost bought it for DCS because I quite liked the idea of flying it. But yeah, that would be good fun. Although I couldn't really do search and rescue in a Harrier. I'd have a job winching someone out. Loads of rumours around Horner. Yeah, I can't remember where I saw him, but something about him being in talks with Ferrari, which could be quite interesting. So, we are now just over this way. It's a shame it's night because the scenery would be beautiful. But we're heading for Glasgow and we turn overhead Glasgow Airport, the Glasgow VOR, and then up through here. And it does actually break my heart that we can't see this, but I also know the excitement that we're back home at Inverness, and I'll be able to start doing some flying around there. Who was asking earlier about they just got the H125 and where to fly it? I'm hoping it's someone who's still in the chat, but I was talking about Feshy Bridge. Here we go. So this is the Cairngorm Gliding Club, and you can see you're in a very picturesque valley. You've got Aviemore there. You've got the mountains over here. You've got the Cairngorm Mountains over here. You've got Loch Ness there. You've got the coast up here. But this is a great place to fly helicopters. So if you're looking for somewhere to start, here is a good spot. There's a parking spot there in the sim. So you just, start there, cold and dark. I just realised the blooming map isn't on, isn't it? Here we go. Let's do that again. So, we'll zoom in. Bum, 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 bum. Now, here we go, Feshy Bridge. There's Feshy Bridge. Parking spot is round about there. And then you've got the option of Cairngorms, the mountains, some really nice places here. Over here at Loch Morlich, that's a beach, and that's a really nice place to come in and land. You've also got the Cairngorm Mountain up here. There's quite a large car park you can land in. So loads of different places. And then I was saying you've got Loch Ness over here, Inverness, the coast. But this is my kind of stomping ground for the HEMS search and rescue flights from RAF Lossiemouth. That's the area that I go in. Hello. You alright, sweetheart? You've already been on telly once. Co-pilot Cat has joined us again. There we go. It's perfectly safe to fly with a cat on your lap. Andrew, that's very true. No witch in the area. No, sadly not. Guy, for a gent that likes low level and Scotland, I'm surprised you've never gone for the Tonka Rob. Do you know what, Guy? I realise this is a very unpopular. Sorry, I've got a cat walking around the yoke. Just be careful and don't touch any levers. Where are you going? Oh my God! Bear with me. Sorry. Oh. There we go. I've got no real interest in the Tornado, which I know is a really kind of unpopular kind of opinion, but I love the Jag. Back in that era, I was kind of interested in the Buccaneer. I was interested in the Jaguar. But the Tornado, I don't know. And the irony is, there was a point where potentially that was going to be my thing, but it's not an aircraft that's ever grabbed me. And to be honest, there's not many fast jets that do grab me. I am very much like a propeller, old warbird kind of thing. But the Jag is, there's just something, I know it, you know, technically speaking, and when it came down to the power and everything, it's not a patch on the Tornado. I'm not talking about that, I'm being very shallow, and I'm purely talking about looks, and would I want to fly it, and yeah, the Tornado's never had that same kind of pull for me. That's not to say that when a Tornado takes off in front of you and your chest vibrates with the roar from the engines, then that is that's a pretty special moment, that's for sure. Yeah, Lewis, Jag is greater than the Tornado. Yeah, it's just I always thought the Jag had a very very sleek, kind of graceful, sharp look about it, whereas the Tornado has got a very kind of heavy look about it. But I know that's an unpopular opinion. I did, yeah. I didn't get into it in much detail. I'm trying to remember. I guess I must have been. I think I had it on the Amiga, and I bought it, but I never really flew it much. Look at that. That's pretty nice. That must be. Yeah. So that's East Kilbride just under the nose here. Can you see the mouse pointer? No, I don't think you can. East Kilbride just under the nose, and then obviously Glasgow, or Glasgow. Look at me getting all posh on you. Oh, darling, we're just going to Glasgow. Go to Glasgow for the weekend. Andrew, Tonka is a beast, but great, and massive step from the Hawk and Jag. Wing sweep tricky to master. Yeah, no, I totally get that, Andrew, and that's what I mean. I know that I'm very much in the minority, but yeah, maybe. Hey, I got into helicopters, so maybe via the Hawk and the Jag, I might decide that I want to go. I might want to go down the Tonka route. Who knows? There could be love for the Tonka in me after all. Just very pretty, isn't it? It's very atmospheric. Very atmospheric. It's one of the things I like about night flying is that, yeah, it's kind of you, especially in this Aerostar. You do feel very much like you're, you know, and it would be even more so if I wasn't streaming. I wouldn't have a great big light on up there, and the room would be darkened, and yeah, it would feel really atmospheric. Or even if in VR. And now we, just as I'm talking about how nice it is, looks like we're going to hit some cloud. How cruel life can be at times. It gives beauty and then takes it away, and we are left bereft, surrounded by clouds. But that's life, isn't it? What are you gonna do, eh? What are you gonna do? Guy, I understand that, although I can outdo your unpopular opinion. I always preferred the Hurricane over the Spit. Guy, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that prefer the Hurricane over a Spit. There's a lot of people that get a little bit upset if you start talking about the Spitfire, because then they say, oh, the Spitfire always gets all the attention. Always gets the attention. Do you not know how many Hurricanes there were in the battle, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But no, so I totally get that, mate. Unfortunately, I am shallow, and although I completely understand the serious nature of sorry, I was just checking the nav then, just making sure it's going where it should do. Yeah, the contribution that the Hurricane played, and also its capabilities. I mean, the Spitfire is just beautiful. The Hurricane's got those big old chunky wings. The Hurricane looks like it would walk into the bar and it would walk up to you and just clobber you. You know, no finesse. Whereas the Spitfire would kind of come in like a boxer, tippy-tappy, and then kind of dazzle you with its beauty and then give you a wallop round the chops. Yeah, it was the Amiga. Yeah, I thought so. It was very complex. It was very complex. And I want to say that I got that one, and was there an Airbus simulator, A320 or something? And I never got into that. Never enjoyed it, never got into it at all. But kind of felt I should buy it because it was a flight sim at the time. Lewis, and what a mistake helicopters have been for you. The downfall of a man's mind. It's such a shame to see. Lewis, one day, sunshine. One day you'll be there saying, oh, isn't it lovely? I'm telling you, it's going to happen. You will get the bug. Andrew, look out for the Auchentoshan Distillery at Glasgow. Glasgow. Oh, blimey, we've missed it now because we've just flown. We have literally just flown over Glasgow Airport. There's Glasgow. Down there. We can just see a bit of it through the misty murk. We bid farewell to Glasgow. Jewel of the North. Well, not quite. Lowlands, I guess. Right, let's pick a view, any view. Let's come back there, and then you can see a bit of the screen and maybe a bit of the outside. Agile, I also love the Hurricane and prefer it over the Spit. There you go, that's what I mean. There's so many people that prefer the Hurricane, and I totally get that. Just wondering, since you have an interest in old warplanes, are you interested in other old war things too, like weaponry? Funny enough, not really. I'm just thinking about it now. Probably not. No, I mean I love the old. I suppose it's limited to the old SAS Jeeps, desert Jeeps. Love those. I keep meaning Tamiya doing a 132 scale one, and I keep meaning to buy it just to have the model. But I'm just not into building kits anymore since I've well, not really done it since I was a kid. But not so much the weapons. No, certainly I'm certainly no expert on rifles and pistols and all that kind of stuff. It's really, do you know, I've never even considered. That's a really interesting question. I love things like Band of Brothers and the old war films, but in terms of for me it's very much the aircraft, I suppose. Sorry, I just need to check the ATC. I'm kind of getting paranoid that no, we've not been given any instructions. The ATC is quite quiet in my ears. Where do we get to? Where do we get to? Actually, the Hurricane's a pint of Stella, the Spit champagne. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. Guy, I'm glad we agree on the buck. Yes, for folks who don't know what a buccaneer is, it's probably flown down your street at some point, undetected and unbothered. It is. It's lovely. It's the strange looking aircraft. It's certainly not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. But it's very capable and just full of character. And I guess because when I lived at Lossy, it was Buccaneers and Jags and Shackletons then. But I remember seeing the Bucks in the circuit and doing their kind of mock airfield attacks when they had a Tachybal on and all that sort of thing. And they were wonderful things, and the sound, the roar, was something to behold. I've got one on the wall, but you can't see it. I've also got a Jag on the wall, and I was going to say a Hurricane, but I haven't got a Hurricane at the moment. But anyway, that's by the by. Where do we get to? BPK, would you ever consider doing an Aerostar flight on VATSIM, maybe once you get a little more proficient? Honestly, no. I don't. I've never really been attracted to VATSIM because, and it's not so much a feeling of kind of inadequacy. It's more what I love about these kind of these AI ATC systems, especially now that it's injecting traffic and that sort of thing, is that I can fly anywhere I want. I don't have to worry about coverage. I don't have to hope that the guy who's on frequency at centre will pretend to be the tower for me as well, and that sort of thing. And for me, that makes it a little bit more realistic. I understand I'm not talking to a real human being, but the AI ATC for me is pretty good, and they're there wherever I want. I'm not relying on some guy to be sitting in his spare room to have an ATC service. So yeah, I think maybe if I did get into VATSIM, I might understand it a little bit more, but it just doesn't really appeal to me. I've done it once, flying circuits at Liverpool, and we literally just got into the air. I think we'd done one touch and go, and the chap who was acting as ATC had to go, and that kind of, yeah, that's the kind of the thing. But I know that, you know, there are a lot of people that get very serious about VATSIM. Jess, that's fair. I watched quite a bit of the Royal Armouries. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I should check that out, really. Cheers, Guy. Thank you, my friend. I might still be going. Depends how long your shower is. I know you helicopter types like to have a good long shower, but we've still got. Well, actually, yeah, blimey. Okay, it's funny. Thanks to you guys and having such a nice chat, we are actually. We've made the turn over Glasgow here. Glasgow, and we're doing the straight run now towards Inverness. Oh, I so wish you could see this scenery. This is absolutely beautiful down here. All of this. But I'm looking forward to... I think tomorrow morning I might have to do a helicopter flight round here. I can feel it. Feel it in my bones. Cheers, Adjet. Thanks for joining. Good to have you along, and I will definitely see you on the next one. Andrew, Hawks, Bucks, Jags, Tonkers, Vulcans, Classic Perfection, Spitfire, Hurricane, yeah. Oh, the Harvard. The Harvard. What on earth has happened to the view there? It's an interesting feature. So this map doesn't have so what are we coming up on? That's where I wonder if I can use this one. That's where a little nav map is quite good, because you get a little bit when you're doing flying like this, you've got a little bit more information on where you are. I don't want that. Let's see if I can pop it up. Try not to break anything. Right, let's just cross-check that. Yeah, so that's Loch Tay. Oh, you can't see it now. Let me. Yeah. That road, you can see the lights there. That road goes under the nose, and then it's kind of Loch Tay up there, but it is kind of under the nose now, so you can't really see it. But that's interesting how we have the road lights there. I'm not sure in real life if you'd have the road lights on that road. I wouldn't have thought. But I don't know, actually. I don't know. But up here in the hills, there's not much. That's for sure. BBK, that's completely fair regarding vaccine. Yeah, no, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I think if I flew tube liners and I was flying, say, from Heathrow to Charles de Gaulle or something like that, it would probably be a different matter. But flying kind of Inverness to Farnborough, the kind of places I fly to, I can't imagine there's much in the way of really good coverage, which is where the AI is great, because it's just wherever I want to go, it's there. And now it's so good, especially I've got the I paid for the premium voice pack top up thing, but the basic voices aren't too bad, but it is very immersive, and every now and again it will chuck something different at you. Tonight when we took off from Farnborough and we were doing the departure for the first time ever, I got a speed instruction which I've never seen before, so that was quite interesting. So this is where I need to start thinking a little bit. So we're just under 10 nautical miles to Inverness now. Still some distance to go. So we're estimating at Inverness at 20 past 10. 20 past 10 Zulu, I should say. So yeah, so in about 19 minutes or so, 18 minutes. So we're not far. You who have been with me, I salute you. You've stuck with the flight. Loctay, you can actually legally land a float plane. I suppose you can, because it's quite, I mean, it's kind of got a wiggle, but it's still quite long and straight, isn't it? Oh, I wish you could see the scenery. I'm going to stop saying it because it's obvious, but yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, BPK. I think GA is a night flight like this is atmospheric, especially doing it at night, and it's great fun to be able to do it and you know, stream it and chat with you guys and that sort of thing. But a lot of the flying I do, I like to see the ground, especially up here in Scotland, seeing the scenery. Yeah. Lewis, I ate an apple. Can I have a medal? Well done, lad. Well done. The question is, Lewis, the question is, what are you going to have now after you've had the apple? Be honest now. Be honest. What biscuits have you got? Now this is interesting. You probably noticed the radio has gone quite quiet, and I am thinking that that's probably because it is simulating the fact that the time that we're at now, that the airline traffic going into airports will be quite quiet. And if I have a look at what was it, adsbexchange.com. Yeah, there's not a lot up here at the moment. There's something that's just going into Aberdeen. There's something that looks like it's just going into Glasgow. There's something that looks like it's going into Edinburgh. What's that? There's like a little regional. There's something that might have... Oh no, it's overflying, so it's a transatlantic job. So there isn't much up here at all, which is kind of makes sense with the radio being quiet. So I like that. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, I think I am not a... I was saying this at the beginning, Andrew, that I know you know this. I'm not an expert in this stuff. I'm very much a novice, which is why I do flights like this, to learn by my mistakes and to well, to learn. Simple as that. I make errors and I learn from them. And I don't make videos to show you how it's done, or to do tutorials. It's more sharing an experience, and hopefully that being entertaining and interesting. But it is wonderful doing this kind of flying. It's a good way of honing all the different skills. For me, for a lot of people, this is kind of bread and butter, the stuff that they do all the time. But for me, it's quite, and it's remembering everything, and also the challenge of while streaming, because obviously when you're streaming, there's a part of your brain that's thinking, right, is this interesting to the people watching? You know, engaging with the chat, getting involved in chat, and you know, getting carried away by it, as happened the other night. But also you've got to focus on what we're doing here. The other night, very briefly, what happened was where we are almost now, except we were flying a star, and I had been given radar vectors and I was given a heading, and I was given an altitude, and it was until I intercepted the ILS at the runway. And we were so busy in the chat reminiscing over like 1970s push bikes and things like that, that I just sailed right through the localizer and suddenly thought, oh, I wonder why ATC hasn't told me what to do. And then I thought, no, they did tell you what to do, you idiot. You got distracted and you messed it up. So I am conscious that at some point, you lucky people, I might stop talking and concentrate on what I'm doing. There is no arrival at Inverness. I would imagine that at some point we'll start getting radar vectors for the... that's interesting. Is it? Yes. So the runway might have changed. I don't know. So it looks like I think that's the original plan. So we're runway 23 was the flight plan runway. So I'd imagine we'll get vectors for the ILS on runway 23, but we'll see what ATC gives us. What I will do is let's quickly check the ATIS while it's quiet up here. So let's have a look. Oh, Inverness has no ATIS. I remember now. There is no ATIS. Okay, that's alright. We can get around that. Because we have the power of live information on Navgraph charts. Let's see what we got. Weather. So wind is 1 knot from 250. That's not going to cause us too many problems. It's interesting.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Scottish Control, expect radar vectors, ILS runway 23.
ILS 23, there you go. QNH is 1025. Let's talk to ATC. Where are we? Expect radar vectors, ILS runway 23, Golf Mike Sierra. So, I know you know this. I'm talking to myself to remember it, but no, wrong button. I always find I've got to try and get everything set up in advance as much as possible, and it makes it so much easier. So ILS runway 23, transition will be vectors, and we can load that approach. Yes, and that's all good. So that's in the box, and then the other thing I want to do is let's have the frequency. Inverness there, frequency and ILS runway 23, Bosch, and let's make that the active. So we're all set up now. Yeah, we're all set up. We've got the ILS approach in the GTN. I've got the ILS frequency dialed in there, and so we're ready to go. Sorry, I just pressed the talk button. Hopefully that hasn't done something silly. There we go. So yeah, you can see it's quite dark, but over there, if I'm not wrong, we're still quite a way out, but that's probably in the distance there, the lights of Inverness, and along the coast you can just kind of see it. And then over here, this way is Loch Ness running down there. And down here is some of the most beautiful scenery you could ever wish to see, but we can't see any of it. What's that down there? Let's lock that off. Oh, it's King Usi. Oh. Oh, look, over there. Oh. Aviemore will be up there. Oh. I'm getting all soppy now. Focus. Okay, let's lock that off. Yeah, no, sorry Andrew, I've just seen your comment. 100% this is a quiet time to fly, absolutely. Yeah, there's not much up here. I do like how Beyond ATC seems to have a good handle on that. It's I don't know a huge amount about how it works, but it does seem to inject the right kind of traffic at the right kind of time, as it were. Like it's not injecting midday levels of traffic right now. Do you know, I think we've done alright, haven't we?
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra,
Okay, this is where I need to start switching on 025, and let's talk to him before he starts telling us off. Oh, wrong button. Turn right heading 025 vectors for Inverness Airport, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, now we flick that to heading, and now we're in heading mode. There we go. .025, that's it. I've got the DG slave here, so I don't need to worry about checking that with the whiskey compass all the time. We're not going to get gyro drift in the same way, which is quite a nice little thing. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, something hasn't quite worked, so let's have a quick look. We're in heading mode. We're in heading mode. Autopilot has gone off. What turned autopilot off? I must have pressed the wrong button. That's why you have to keep on top of it and keep monitoring it. I must have accidentally turned the autopilot. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. I've got a cancel autopilot button next to my ATC press to talk button, and I must have accidentally nudged it and turned the autopilot off. But anyway, there we go. So now we're on the heading of 025. ILS vectors, runway 23, and we're ready for descent, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, this is where I'm going to start shutting a bit. Inverness, landing runway 23, Golf Mike Sierra. Yeah. Love it. Contact Lossiemouth approach on 119.35 Golf Mike Sierra. Oh, I'm talking to the home base. 119. Why is it? It always happens at this phase. The things just come up on my monitor saying it's going to go into power off mode. Right, there we go. Lossiemouth approach, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra on a heading of 025 at flight level 80. Now, he asked if we're going to be ready for descent. I said we were. Ooh. QNH 1025, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 23, Golf Mike Sierra. Yeah, so I'm there we go. Descend to flight level 040, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we'll come back on the power, and then I'm going to use the I'm going to put it into ATT mode on the autopilot, so that's attitude hold mode, and now I'm going to use the attitude hold release button so that I can adjust the pull back on the power a bit. Let's get a rate of descent in. And we're going down to 040 and QNH. That's a flight level, so we stay on standard barometric. But I'm just going to write that down here, 1025. So as soon as we need to, I need to bang 1025 in on the box. What I'm also going to do now is just switch that to VLOC, so that we've got our ILS dialed in, and the 231. So let's get the click spot. I'm going to get that lined up, so that's all nicely done, ready for when we come in. There we go. So, quick check, we're in the descent, we're on the correct heading that we've been given. There's Cawdor Castle. I'd give you some Shakespeare darlings, but I can't remember the words. When Burnham Wood comes to Dunsinane, or whatever it is. This is the dagger I see before me. God, you wouldn't think I did English O-level. Completely forgotten most of it. Right, quick check of the chat because it's going to get busy soon. Andrew, no aces at EGPE, but this is what's so great about China, the enjoyment. Thank you, mate. Yeah, it's all about learning. It's all about making mistakes and learning. And I know people like yourself who are real world pilots. This is kind of more bread and butter for you guys. I just think it's great that we've got an aircraft like the Aerostar, which is such a good simulation and so feature rich that you can do flying like this and learn and make mistakes as well. It's kind of cool. Lewis, so when you land we jump in Supreme Commander for a quick 6-hour game, right? Oh, I wish. I have actually got to get up at a decent time tomorrow, mate, but you've no idea how tempting that actually is. No idea. Right, okay. Don't think me rude, but this is where I do need to start switching on. So we were cleared down to flight level 040, so I'm just making a note of that. What is going to be my next frequency? Because it might be a good idea to tee that up.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra.
Oh.
Descend to 3,000 feet, QNH 1025.
Descend to 3,000 feet, QNH 1025, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, so we're down to 3,000 feet and we're on 1025, so we're going to, there we go, get it going in the right direction, matey. There we go, and we keep that descent in. So you can see there, this is the this is our ILS approach. And what I did last time was I was on a radar vector, but they'd said to intercept the localizer, and I just sailed right over.
Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, turn left, heading 360. Vectors for the approach.
Left heading 360, vectors for the approach, Golf Mike Sierra. I don't know if I needed to say vectors for the approach there. I think I could probably just have said heading 360 maybe. I don't know. I have this read back-itis thing. I feel like, you know, if they say something I should always read it back.
Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, descend to 2,000 feet.
Descend to 2,000 feet, Golf Mike Sierra. So now we're down to 2,000 feet. I'm just old habit, flight strips. Oh.
3 miles from 623, turn left heading 250, maintain 2,000 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared ILS runway 23.
There we go, so we got our clearance. Turn left heading 250, maintain 2,000 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared ILS runway 23, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, so we've had our clearance. You can see now they've kind of given us that turning, but actually we're busting through it. So that it would have been handy to have had that turn instruction earlier, but that's absolutely fine. And we do need to probably increase our rate of descent there, I should think, in all honesty. So let's there we go. Yeah, so it's kind of nice that they vectored us over, but they've kind of vectored us through.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Inverness Tower 122.6.
So I'm just going to turn us back. Inverness Tower 122.6, Golf Mike Sierra. So this is going to be an interesting one. Let's keep that turn in. 22, because what I've got to do now is turn back on myself to intercept the localizer. go. Inverness Tower, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra for the ILS runway 23 approach. I kind of feel like I need to give a position, but there's the runway.
Golf
So
Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Inverness Tower, wind 175 at 4, runway 23 cleared to land.
wow. Copy the winds, runway 23 cleared to land, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, so because we vectored, that vector turn came late, so I'm going to, there's our 2,000 feet. So I'm just bringing us back on, bringing the speed back. We can drop the gear. Let's have fuel pumps on and landing lights. Watch the speed. Blow the glide slope. Have a little bit of flappage, remembering that this is a like a selector switch that you have to motor rather than bump bump bum. Rob, just shut up and fly the plane, for crying out loud. Right, 3 greens. Trim, trim, trim. Intercepting the glide slope now. Trim, trim, trim. It honestly makes it so much easier. I know this is obvious, but it makes it so much easier if you trim the aircraft properly, because then you're not fighting the aircraft so much. Trim really is your friend. Right, a bit more flappage. Just gently getting it on the localizer. It was an interesting point that the left, the turn instruction that we were given back then, obviously on autopilot, it wasn't turning fast enough. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, next time I need to hand fly it probably, and then I can rack it round a bit more. A little bit below the glide slope. Let's have there we go. So I've just mixture fully rich. Prop levers forward.
$500.
Bit more trim. Now, I'll tell you now, just to pre-warn you, my night landing the other night was pretty shocking. So don't expect finesse, because finesse ain't going to happen. Quite low on the glide slope. It's funny, isn't it? Visually I look at the runway there and I feel I'm round about right, but then I look at the ILS glide slope and I'm way too high. Too low rather. Interesting. Now I feel really high. Okay, remember to steer with the switches, and there we go, flaps up.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, exit next available taxiway.
Woohoo! Whoa, 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 whoa. Where did those green lights go? There we go. I think that was called yeeting it. Okay, careful. Vacated the active, Golf Mike Sierra. Right, let's have strobe off. I'll stick one landing light on. Actually, let's have both on because then we can actually see where we're going. Okay, we're not getting any instructions. So let's just have a quick look at the frequencies. Have we got a ground? Oh, we haven't got a ground frequency here. That's why. Yeah. Request taxi to ramp 16, Golf Mike Sierra.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, ramp 16. Golf doesn't exist at Inverness. Would you like to select another?
No, I'm Golf. This is, it always does this to me. Let's try this again. Request taxi to ramp 16, Golf Mike Sierra. Maybe I should say ramp 16.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra.
There we go.
Ramp 16 taxi via Alpha Echo.
Ramp 16 via Alpha Echo, Golf Mike Sierra. So I noticed it did this to me last time. So Alpha is here and Echo is there. But it did this before. I think it thinks Alpha. I think in the sim, the MSFS version or whatever, this is the UK 2000 Inverness that I'm using, but it seems to think Alpha is over here, and I keep forgetting that it does that. So if I have a quick look at my Beyond ATC map, oh okay, I can see exactly where it wants me to go. Okay, that's cool. On y va, as they don't say up here. So let's lean the engines because we're on the ground. Remember to do that, and remember, Roberto, you are steering with your switches. You're not in a Spitfire now. See the alternator lights come on because I've chopped the engines right back. Okay. And we are just here, by the looks of it. Although, strangely, it's given us a... Okay. Yeah, look at that. Those posh jets parked in my parking slot. That's alright. I sometimes fly the helicopter from just there, so we feel at home. We'll stick it next to this guy here. There we go. That'll do. Okay. Right. Doobie-doobie-doo. Landing lights off. Parking brake on. And that's all good. Let's get up the checklist because that's always quite handy to reference. Checklist. After landing, propeller fully forward it is. Flaps are up. Have I done that? Yeah, I've done that. Well done. Remember that. Boost pumps can now come off. Trim tabs neutral. It's always good to remember that, and then next time, this is why checklists are quite useful. It's quite good because it means that next time we won't go twanging into the air because I forgot to do that. And cabin heater off, so let's have all those off now. You don't need them anymore. It's time to get to the hotel, get something nice to eat and get a few drinks, so we can have those off, and that's good. Okay, so shut down, parking brake is set. We've been idling just to cool the engine down a little bit. So that's all good. We can do that now. We can have radios off, off, off. So that's all closed down, and now we're going to go mixture idle cutoff. Mags off. Have I forgotten anything? No, no, no. Fuel selector off. Woo! Love that little sound. There we go. And we can have all these other switches off. Pitot heat, that's all good. Alternators off. Have I left anything else on? I don't think so. Did I leave? Let's turn that light off. There we go. Let's turn these lights off. Get the right click spot. Ooh, where are you gone? There you are. There we go. And then boof. Let's get some of that lovely Highland air. Hey, hop outside. There we are. There's our lovely Aerostar. It's taken us all the way from Farnborough up here to Inverness. And if we walk over here, oh, breathe that air. Breathe that air. You just stay over there. I'm breathing the air. I don't want your fumes. Actually, let's come over here onto the grass. And over there in the distance is the mountains and that beautiful scenery that we can't see because it's dark, but it's over there somewhere. Wonderful. It's a lovely little airport, this. When I was very young, I flew into here a few times, and it was always exciting because it meant I was going home. But there you go. So let's bring that back there, and then I can lock that off and check the chat. Whew, right. God, just in time for landing. Yes, you were. Lewis. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Guy, never seen a torque turn in a fixed wing. Aces, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Fast and Furious drift to get off the active. That's how we do it, Lewis. That's how we do it. I take my inspiration from your racing. Thank you, Andrew. Lights always look closer at night. Yeah. I mean, that was strange. Well, I say it was strange. It wasn't strange. It was just interesting, kind of pulling off the active there, thinking I was following the green lights, and suddenly it's like, blimey, where did they go? Yeah, trust the pappy. Yeah, it's interesting that. Okay, Andrew, you're a real world pilot. If you're flying an ILS approach, I guess there's a point where you can see the runway clearly, then you stop following the ILS needles and you start actually looking at the pappies and looking at the runway. And it's an interesting point that sometimes you can, for example, fly the needles, but then you're looking at the runway and you're looking at the pappies and you're thinking it doesn't really kind of make sense. But I know one of the things that one of my weaknesses is that quite often I have this kind of propensity to come in low, because the way the runway looks to me looks more viable when I'm lower, if that makes sense. And funny enough, a real world pilot commented in another video, why is it that YouTubers, why is it that flight simmers always come in too low on approach? And I thought maybe there is something in that. Maybe I just need to start flying in approach, strictly following the needles and the pappies, and trust that that is the angle I should be flying at. I don't know. I need to do more of that. What I should actually do is just do some circuits or something here at Inverness, just to do some handling. Whew. Anyway, look, it's 25 to 12 here. Thank you ever so much to everyone who joined. Especially thanks to the guys that joined from the beginning. You've stuck with it. You're very brave, and it's been really wonderful having your company. For me, it's one of the things I really love about streaming is the chat and just talking to you, especially on a flight like this where there's not much going on. It's wonderful being able to chat to you as we go along. So anyway, thank you for joining, and it just leaves me to say, take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. And now what you're about to have is a lovely night camping scene in the Highlands. So just sit back and just look at the next scene and it'll take you right there. Thank you guys, it's been wonderful having you along. Take care, bye bye.